All right. Looks like we are live on all platforms. Sorry about that little delay there, everyone. As you know, if you've been watching now with this new software system, it goes live to 7 of the 8 platforms right away, but I have to hit another button for Instagram. But we want to make sure we get to those viewers. Welcome to Around Town TV. My name is Carla Berline, and tonight I am so excited to have with us Nicola Peterson from Sever's Holiday Lights. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule right now to be here with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, and if any of you have heard of Sever's fall festivals, then you probably are like, yes, I have. Well, that is the same family, and we're going to get into that. But Sever's Holiday Lights has a great story, a festive tradition for the whole family, a little bit of a newer tradition that you've started. But for those who are not familiar, what is Sever's Holiday Lights?
Yeah, so Sever's Holiday Lights started in 2019, and it is a drive-through. And every single year we've expanded it. It's now almost 2 miles long. And you get in your car, you load up the kids or load up the grandparents, whoever you want to come with, or maybe by yourself. And you'll turn your radio to a certain channel, and then the lights are actually programmed to the music. So they move with the time of the musical program, which is generally about 40 to 45 minutes long. We have static lights as well, but it's I would say, gosh, we have over 2.5 million lights now, since starting in 2019 to now. We've expanded every single year. So we have a lot of lights. It's a ton of fun.
Well, that makes sense too. I didn't realize that you'd program your radio and then so it's just that added oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
spectacular. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
it is. It's really fun.
And we just had somebody, Caitlin, who has also been on my show before with the Live In Foundation, said they just went as a family. It was amazing, and the music was great. Loved it. Thank you, Caitlin, for actually, she wasn't able to be on the show that night, but PT Thomas was. But thank you, Caitlin, for your insight. It's always great to hear from someone who's been there, and I plan to go as well. In addition to the driving part, I know you have other things like refreshments. Let's talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so we have vendors on site selling things like popcorn, hot cocoa, baked goods, hot cider, kind of your typical cold weather treats. And then we also have what we call our selfie park, which is an area where you can get out of your, park your car, get out of your car and take lots of different family photos up against a various amount of light displays. We have Santa that's there some evenings as well, saying hello and taking pictures. And so every single year, we're really looking to add something new and keep having Severs be part of such a family tradition, which we love.
Well, and if you're just tuning in, and whether you're watching the show live or you watch it after we've aired this, I have all of the details above this video for you of their address. It started on Thanksgiving and goes through December 29th from 5 to 9 p.m. And it's open 7 days a week, correct?
That's right. We're open 7 nights a week, even Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. We are open 7 days a week through the end of December.
Wow, that's great. And I have their address, as well as some of the pricing, and as well as a link to how you can get tickets and a link of their website and more information. Tell me about your $10 Tuesdays.
Yeah, so we started $10 Tuesdays last year. We were running into some traffic issues, which is a great problem to have. But we really wanted to make sure that everything was running seamlessly, smoothly. No one was having to wait. And so what we started to do was we would have peak night pricing and then during the week pricing. But we also wanted to offer a night where people would be able to come that maybe were on more of a budget or they weren't quite sure, or they wanted to test it out. And so that's $10 Tuesday. So we do that every single Tuesday for the entire season, except for the week of Christmas. That's kind of what we call peak week, of course, because that's very busy. And it's $10 Tuesdays. And we do have limited tickets available every night, just because, again, we learned very quickly during COVID, we can only fit so many cars in the drive-through at any given time, and we don't want anyone having to wait. And so it is important to purchase tickets online, and then you'll choose an hour. So you'll do 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, and you can come anytime within that hour. If you show up at 6:05 and you were supposed to be there at, between 5 and 6, it's not a big deal. But we do try to time it out so that everyone is having a great experience.
Oh, that's such a great idea. And for those viewers that where Sever's Holiday Lights is a little newer to them or they're just learning about this, you have a really great story how you started it right before COVID, but what a wonderful thing, as we were talking about offline, thing to have created during COVID. Let's talk about that, the story of the creation of this.
Yeah, so we partnered with another local company out of Minnesota called Epic Lights, and they came to us in 2019 and said, "Hey, we'd love to work with you. We think this would be a great addition to your fall festival, extend your season." And we said, "Yeah, this sounds really fun. We've got the land. This is right up our alley." And so we started building the infrastructure in early 2019, launched the season in November of 2019. Of course, fast forward to 2020 and COVID hit, and everything really had moved to needing to be an in-car experience. That wasn't something we planned. It was really, I call it dumb luck. I should probably call it serendipity because,
Yes.
the fall festival really struggled during those years of COVID because we are yes, we're an outdoor event, but we have tens of thousands of people come to that event in the fall. And all of a sudden we were obviously having the same limits everyone else had. And so having the Holiday Light Show was able to kind of subsidize and grow the business much more quickly than we would generally anticipate when you're, launching a new business. So we were lucky in that way, very, very lucky. And we've really seen that growth be a springboard for the subsequent years. This is our 5th season now, which is incredible to think about. I don't know where
Wow.
time has gone. And compare that to the fall festival that started in 1997. So we're
Wow.
always growing and diversifying and getting into other things that are fun seasonal events for families.
Well, and you were talking about you just mentioned the Fall Festival in 1997. For those who aren't familiar with, I'd love to share a little bit more about your family story, the history and background, and about the Fall Festival as well, if you wouldn't mind.
No, of course not. So, we are a farming family. A lot of people don't realize that, especially with Holiday Lights, it's not necessarily attached to agriculture. But we are part of a program through the University of Minnesota with exchange students. And my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, back in the mid 90s, happened to have an exchange student from England that were explaining to them the labyrinth mazes of England. And Sever, my father-in-law, it's a first name, said, "Let's do this out of corn." And everyone was like, "That is a terrible idea. No one is ever going to pay you to walk through a cornfield. Like, you can do whatever design you want. People avoid that. They don't want to be walking in a cornfield." We'll fast forward, of course, almost 30 years later. And I think there's something like 500 corn mazes in the state of Minnesota. It's
Right.
very ubiquitous and well-known. Everybody knows what a corn maze is. But in 1997, we started simply as a corn maze. In 1998, I started working for the family as a summer job. We sold cookies. I sold hot dogs. I've done every job under the sun on the farm. And,
I love that.
now I ended up marrying their son, and 17 years later, still working side by side with his parents, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, of course, my husband. And now our children are, busy at the fall festival, selling pop and water and concessions and, kind of learning the ropes if they want to end up doing it. So for us, it's been an important way to diversify. Agriculture and grain farming can be
Mhm.
volatile, and obviously we can't control grain prices. So it's been really a great addition in our, kind of tool chest to have these other businesses that can help keep our family farm in the family.
And are all those listed on the website for those who are? I know you have Sever's Fall Festival, you have the Sever's Holiday Lights, and
Yeah,
you have some other businesses as well.
that's right. Yes. Yep. They're all on the website. And, everything really but the Holiday Lights is attached to agriculture in some shape or form. And even the way that we think about it is, having a piece of ground that can be so easily utilized for both agriculture and what we like to call agritainment is still, tied back to our roots and farming, no pun intended.
I love that. What else haven't we covered that our viewers should know about your family, your history, the event?
Yeah, so I think one thing about the event that is important that we get asked a lot is our ticket prices per car. So
Yes.
you don't, we will have people that will buy 7 tickets and then go, "Oh my gosh, they get to the ticket booth and we're like, do you have 7 more cars or what, And so it is a per vehicle price. And so you can load up, anybody from one person to 7 people, and that is that per vehicle price. We also have a large vehicle ticket for 8+, which is like, we get a lot of like senior communities that come through on buses. We get a lot of like work Christmas parties that like to come through on a party bus. So that's really a fun way to celebrate the season as well. But that is something that I really like to just clarify to make sure that people know you just need 1 ticket per car,
Fantastic.
which is great. Yeah. And we're really open. I mean, unless it's like blizzarding, we're open. So
right. It's 5 to 9, 7 days a week. I did put the Sunday through Thursday, the pricing there for 1 to 7 passengers in a car, and the pricing for 8+ passengers. Friday through Saturday and peak week, which is December 18th through December 25th. There's different pricing for 1 to 7 passengers and 8+ passengers. And then of course the $10 Tuesdays.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing that I always like to point out to people is that you can go through multiple times. We are the only light show that I know of that allows people to go through multiple times. The whole musical program takes about, I would say, 40 to 45 minutes. And so if you would like to hear all of the songs, you're able to go through multiple times, which is great. And our programmers, a fun little data point is that it takes them 10 hours to program 1 minute of music to the lights. So I had no idea, when we went down this road, we were starting to do programming and this and that. And I did not realize how labor intensive that portion. I'm not very tech savvy. I can do marketing, talk about it, and love to talk to customers and all of that. But yes, so it takes over 400 hours to program our show every single year.
Wow. That is, I would not have expected it. But again, like you, that's not my area of expertise.
Not my area of expertise. My brother-in-law builds it. My 2 brother-in-laws really build it. So everything you see there, we've built. It's our infrastructure. They're very operational. And then the programmers do their expertise and it comes together beautifully. So we feel very fortunate.
And as many of you that are online can see, this will the Sever's holiday lights goes through December 29th. So what else? What's next for Sever's family?
Gosh, that's a great question. So we, and I hope this isn't too controversial, but we started actually a hemp-derived cannabis company called Verist. And so if you come to Sever's Fall Festival, you will see that we have beverages that we sell. We have a CBD topical line as well. And so that has been a new industry for us in Minnesota. As many people are probably aware, it became legal a few years ago and now moving into the adult use space. And so that has been really interesting from an agriculture perspective, learning to how to grow a new crop, how to harvest it, how to dry it, kind of being at the forefront of establishing that infrastructure here in Minnesota. It's not something that my 80-year-old father-in-law ever anticipated getting into, but it's been very interesting just from kind of a newness and a new industry perspective. And then, of course, expansion. We're always looking to expand both the Fall Festival and the holiday lights. And so every single year, even though it's a seasonal business, for us, it's year round. So once this closes down, and even now we're already planning for next year's Fall Festival, we're even looking at holiday lights. What do we want to add next year? What else can we do? How can we make it more efficient, better for our customers? Because again, we really want people coming back every season and to be part of their traditions.
Fantastic. Congratulations on your continued success and the diversification. It's your newest business is definitely a hot business right now. And I think that's just wonderful. I know your family works very hard and it shows. Anything else before we close out the show?
I don't think so. I think that's probably I could talk your ear off all night, but I won't do that.
Well, no, we'll have you back on again and to promote in the fall or whatever the other events you're doing. But I really appreciate you taking time. For those who maybe tuned in partway through, I do have Nicola Peterson representing Sever's Holiday Lights. They also have Sever's Fall Festival. and many other businesses. All of the information, pricing, address, anything you need is above this video. And then you can also go to the link to buy tickets and to set that up, as well as more information, a link to their website. As many of you know, Around Town TV has been bringing you the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people since 2003. We are the Twin Cities' longest airing television community showcase, and certainly couldn't do that without all of you and your support on the variety of platforms. Many of you have been following me since its inception, April 28th of 2003, and I greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to, we've got quite a lineup this week. Tomorrow night, we have the Shops of Arbor Lakes that'll be joining us. And then on Thursday night, Rock from the Heart. To learn more about that, I'll be putting out a promotion on that, a little promo video tonight. So take a look at that as well. And again, Nicola, thank you for taking time. I know how busy you are, but I really appreciate you taking time to be here and share this with us. I am excited to make my way over there as well and start a new family tradition. Appreciate all of you. Please join us at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, and then again next week, Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Around Town TV. We'll see you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.